Welcome to today's interview, today's episode of Healthy Living Happy Midlife. I'm Denise Stegall, the Menopause Mentor. Most of you know me. I am always looking for new and interesting ways to make menopause wellness fun and interesting and easy. And one of the things so many women in midlife and so many of my clients come to me when I say, what's your exercise like? What do you do how do you move around? And I get really, Denise, I'm tired, I'm overweight, I don't feel like it. Nothing that I do works anymore. I've just given up. And I'm here with Gail Lazarus, who is going to show us that does not have to be, that there is a way to add movement back into our life, and how joyful movement may actually be the missing piece to menopause wellness and happiness and feeling really freaking good. So, Gail, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here with me. To start, tell the audience a little bit about you, because I'll just gush, but I want people to understand why you are the expert in this area and why they should listen to you.
Okay, thanks so much for having me. I'm super happy to finally be here with you instead of texting how we can figure this out. So, hello, my name is Gail Lazarus, and I did not start out as a fitness coach or never aspired my whole life to be a fitness coach. It fell into my lap in quite an unusual way, but I don't want to go that far back. But I was never fit. I grew up, my mom told me I was a klutz. I believed I was a klutz because why wouldn't I believe my own mother? And so I didn't try things. I didn't take chances. I was risk averse until later in life. I started going to the gym and I started taking dance fitness classes, and I absolutely love them. And I learned, you know what? I'm really not a klutz. And I had an opportunity to train with a Dancing with the Stars fitness professional just for fun, learning to teach LeBlas Fitness, a dance inspired workout. And where I was taking, the instructor quit, and the women turned to the back of the room, looked at me, and said, "You need to teach us." And with super shaky knees, I somehow went from the back of the studio to the front. And it took me a while. I was not born to do this, but I practiced and practiced. And today, here I am 10 years later teaching dance and chair fitness. And I love my journey, and I love witnessing other people's journey from sitting and getting fit. And I'm looking forward to sharing more with you, Denise, and your audience.
I love it. Thank you. And it's so funny because when I see you, a natural at doing this. So it's always interesting how we get to where we are. So
Nothing natural about it.
every now and then we just have to follow a path, right? I always say that too about I didn't start out to be a menopause mentor like when I was 30. Let's be real. It's just that this is what happens as life happens, right? So let's talk about this new perspective that we would like my audience, who your audience, they get it. But maybe there's a couple of people who need to be in my audience that need to be in your audience too. I would say there's a couple of us.
And vice
So
versa.
exactly. So let's talk about this different perspective. Instead of exercise and workouts and movements being drudgery and something to dread, joyful movement sounds, is that even possible? So let's talk about that.
Okay, I will say it is 100% possible. And if you know me, I never guarantee anything, right? I don't even want to recommend a painter to a friend or an electrician, because what if they have a bad experience? But I can tell you with 100% certainty that movement can be joyful. Exercising does not have to be painful. You don't need to struggle. And a lot of people get it backwards. They feel like they have to do the workout and struggle through it, but it really doesn't have to be that way. I'm reminded of a quote that I often come back to by Arthur Ashe, who said, "Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can." Nobody's journey is the same. Oh, just told me that we were recording. So now I know.
We're live streaming. So
We're live
I think,
streaming. Okay, yes. So everyone's journey is different. Maybe you were an athlete in your past, or maybe you never exercised in your entire life, right? But you can't compare yourself to what you used to do or what your friend is doing or what you think people are doing. But you really just want to focus on what you can do today. Like, for example, I don't know if any of you can even tell, but I am actually working out my core right now. And I do that often during Zoom meetings, boring ones, which this one obviously isn't. But just sitting in a chair, lifting your leg off the floor and pulling I see you trying it, Denise. Are you doing it with me? Are you doing it? Okay, because I'm just simply lifting up my knee here, but we'll go into that later. So there's so many things you can do just sitting in a chair, rolling those shoulders back, right? Everybody can do that. Movement is, oh yes, right? How good does that feel? So if you're watching us live or on replay, just take those shoulders up to your ears, squeeze your shoulder blades back, and just release. And just doing that a couple times can feel so good in the body. So there's so many different ways to move. You do not have to be running on a treadmill or training for a marathon to get the benefit of exercise. In fact, I would say if you're on this channel listening to the Menopause Mentor, none of us should be running marathons or training or trying to jog on the street on a hard surface. It's not good for our bodies. I'm not sure it's good for anybody's bodies, but certainly when you go through menopause, that is generally not the best way to exercise and certainly doesn't bring me joy. If it brings you joy, great, do it. But if it doesn't, don't force something that doesn't work for you, because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to come back for it. And I think that's one of my most favorite things that I have gained myself from teaching online fitness classes is that people come back for the joy. And fitness and exercise and the burning of calories and increasing your stamina and endurance is that people enjoy it. So that's really one of my biggest messages is find something that you love or at the beginning. And even if it's just the tiniest bit of joy, I believe music is key to working out. So I always use upbeat, joyful music. Sometimes it's thoughtful and pensive, but it's that music and having a good coach that really can help you become consistent. I hope I answered that question.
You did. When it comes to joy and working out, when it comes to music, I am so stuck in the 80s. I am such the 80s girl. I have my whole playlist and it does. Some days I may not really want to get a workout in. But just by turning on the music, it does something to your mind and it just lightens the mood and makes that activity that much more fun.
Denise, hold your thought. I want to see your 80s playlist because I do an 80s chair workout. And I love when people share their music and I can put movement to their favorite songs. So I want that playlist. Okay.
Okay. Favorite song, Walking on Sunshine, Katrina.
I gotcha. Okay. I gotcha. All right.
Every morning. And that's actually a song I play every morning when I'm getting ready. And it's for this purpose of joy. It makes me smile. It gets me moving, doing my hair or brushing my teeth.
Love it.
And here
Love
I am.
it.
So exactly, we're talking about movement doesn't have to be so difficult. It doesn't have to be so regimented. You mentioned something a couple of seconds ago about as we're getting older, running may not be the thing. And funny, I used to run half marathons. I've run probably half a dozen of them. I don't do that anymore. One, they're time consuming. And yes, it's this stage in my life. I know what my body is telling me, right? So let's talk about what my body is telling me. My joints are stiff, my muscles are tight, and they don't move the way they used to. Let's talk about that because that's something in midlife and beyond, right? But is it something that we have to live with? It just is what it is.
I feel like you know the answer that I'm going to say, and that's absolutely, you do not have to live with it. Now, of course, I'm not a doctor. There are certain conditions that movement may not help. But if you have stiff joints, achy muscles, a tight shoulder, all of these things, weigh heavily. And people think, I'll wait till that goes away. I'll wait. But the answer is motion is lotion. So just moving your shoulders, getting that blood flow into these different body parts, moving your hip joints. And of course, like when I talk, I have to move. So I'm picking my foot up and down, rotating my hip in and out. I don't think I can get the angle there. But if you don't move it, you're going to lose it. because joints need motion. There's synovial fluid in those joints that you need to move that around to loosen and lubricate the muscles. And there is a workout for you, I promise. And if you're going to ask me what that is, I'll let you ask me what that workout might look like.
What might that workout look like? We will get to that. We will get to what the workout should look like. But let's just answer a couple of other quick questions that people are going.
I jumped ahead.
All right, let's say I'm 62 years old. I haven't worked out in 12 years. I'm about 15 pounds overweight. I don't have the energy. I'll just wait. What can you tell me?
Waiting is the worst thing that you can do, right? Waiting only breeds more waiting and more laying around and saying, I can't do this, I can't do this. And what I will say is you can do it. One of the things that I've learned about Denise is that we have a lot in common. You talk about failing. You're not failing. You just haven't been taught to manage your symptoms, to know your body, to understand your hormones. And I would say the same thing about movement. People who say, I can't dance, I have no rhythm. No, you haven't been taught. And if you still can't do it, then you haven't been taught by the right person, which is why you come to the movement mentor. The movement mentor.
Yeah, the movement mentor. I like it. We just gave to Gail a new title.
You come to the menopause mentor because you haven't been taught how to move through menopause properly, right? We're fed a lot of, this is just how it is. This is normal. But it's not normal. What is normal is to go to someone for help, like you go to the menopause mentor. If you want to learn to move properly, to move in a way that feels good for your body, you go to someone who can help you do that. And I start where you are. So if you're coming from a place of not exercising for 10, 20, 30 years, or if you've never exercised, if you've always been sedentary, there's a place to start. And it does not have to be hard. It doesn't have to be a struggle. We really need to listen to our body, start small, and have small wins, because when you have a win, it feels good, not just physically in your body, but mentally and emotionally. Yeah, start small and start where you are. And progress makes progress. Practice makes progress.
Oh, I like that. Practice makes progress. It's so true. I'm not a fitness instructor. I obviously talk to clients about movement and exercise, but I also say I'm not the expert. We need to find somebody who is. And some people want to say, oh, I go to this gym and I'll find this trainer. And I always have to say, you need to make sure that the person that you are working with is age appropriate, because movement needs to be age appropriate, right? Like we were saying, I'm not running half marathons anymore. The thought of that, the thought of that makes my knees hurt.
Mine too.
And so I think it's really important to remind people that, and that's why you and I are having this conversation, that it is essential to go to a professional, somebody who really knows the ins and outs of movement, the ins and outs of body structure, and beyond what people are taught, like when they go to a gym, right? I haven't stepped into a gym in many years. I have my own setup here. But there have been times when I want to learn something new. I don't just check out any video. I find out who is the trainer. When it's chair, I say chair massage, chair and seated movement, because this is something I think is great for women my age. But as we get older, we want to make sure that we're continuing to move. So let's talk about that. We're talking women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. Let's talk about how different that body is, but yet how similar the workouts or structured the workouts, that the dance fitness workouts that you do with your clients.
I would first say that age really is a number. It's cliche, but it is true. I have women that take my classes, my standing and seated classes, in their 80s that are more fit and more far along than some of my clients in their 50s, because they have been consistently working out for decades. I wouldn't say that there's an appropriate workout for an 80-year-old versus a 50-year-old. Again, it is what you said at the beginning. I believe you have to listen to your body. So there's always options, there's always modifications to do the workout at your own level. It does come back to joy and finding something that feels good in your body and gives you more energy. That notion that I have no energy, I can't work out. If you're waiting for it, I can tell you it's not going to come, right? You need that movement. You need something that is going to energize you. And I get it. I don't think it's easy to start. I give people a lot of credit for starting because it's easy for me to say, but I will often say to my clients, thank you for being here, because if I didn't have to show up for my own class to teach my class, I might still be in bed drinking my coffee. So I don't think it's easy to motivate. I think, in fact, it's super hard, especially if it's something new that you haven't done. Walking into anything, whether clicking on a Zoom link or walking into a class or calling a trainer and saying, I need your services, whatever it is, that first step is the hardest, 100%. I often share links with people to join a Zoom class and they don't come because it is hard. It's not easy to join. So I don't want to make anyone think that this is a really easy thing to do. But what I can assure you is that if you do start, whatever that workout might be, whatever that exercise might be, once you start and that you can do it, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can often just breed that I can do it. I'm going to do it. I can't wait to do it, because it really does feel good. But it's hard to convince. I'm not here to convince anyone that first step is easy. And I understand why so many women don't exercise, certainly go to a gym when they haven't worked out in so long. It can be very intimidating, which is one of the things that I really love about teaching fitness on Zoom, like we are right now, because many of you watching here are anonymous, right? We don't know if you're there. As a matter of fact, if you are watching us, let us know. Say, I'm here from where, and maybe where you're Zooming in from, because I want to recognize that you may be here thinking, oh, what does she know about working out? She looks fit.
Yeah,
So we can see who might be coming in live. And then if you do stick around, I do have a free gift. I love party favors. It's our little party, and I have a party favor for all of you that Denise is going to share with you.
Yep. Hold on one second. I've got our Facebook. Woo. I'm looking at us twice. All of a sudden we popped up twice. All of a sudden we popped up twice. So yeah, I think the important thing, one of the important things, a couple of things I pulled out from our conversation there is confidence, how movement can increase your confidence. And I think an important piece also is how that taking that first step, like greatness comes after, like when we're in our comfort zone. This is good. I'm comfortable here. Maybe I'm really not comfortable here. I want to lose some weight. I do feel achy. I want to start moving, but I'm afraid to. That fear is one of the things that holds us back. But once
100%.
we do cross that, once we cross that threshold and take a class, then I think we can understand more how it positively affects us mentally, physically, and emotionally. So tell us a little bit more about your classes.
Well, you made me think of something. When I'm a big quote person, because when a quote resonates with me, I don't know, I love it. So one of my favorite quotes is, your comfort zone is a nice place, but nothing grows there. So there's nothing wrong with staying in your comfort zone, but if you want something, if you're hoping to feel better, have the energy, have more confidence, you can't stay in your comfort zone, because again, another quote, nothing changes if nothing changes. And so making one small change can give you confidence to maybe join a class, take that walk. So yeah, so those are a few more of my little mantras. So you asked me, about my classes. Thank you so much for asking. I was a wannabe dancer my whole life. I love Broadway. I love theater. I just love dance. What? Yeah, jazz hands. So, but growing up feeling like a klutz, I was like, what do I know about that? And I really lacked that inner confidence to ever think I could do anything like that. But anyway, long story short, I shared a little bit about my journey, how I became a fitness instructor. I started teaching dance fitness. And I did something that I also never thought I would do. I tried actual ballroom dancing, and I am now an amateur ballroom dancer, and I just did my very first competition, but I digress. Cool. It was so fun. I'll share some pictures with you, Denise. But that was one of the scariest things I ever had to do. We're talking, I had to put the makeup on, the dress, do the hair, and dance in front of judges. And I honestly did not do that great. I came in third, but there were only four of us in my little category. But so I didn't do that well. And I was disappointed. But you know what? I did it. And I just have to say, wow, I did that. So anyway, again, I digress. So I was teaching dance fitness, which I absolutely love. And I learned that I am not just a good dancer after lots of practice, but I'm a good teacher. I'm a good instructor. And then I had some foot issues, some Achilles issues, and some other foot things that required surgery. And I knew that I was going to be off my feet for quite some time. And in preparation for that surgery that I knew was coming, I became a chair fitness instructor. And I thought, okay, maybe instead of teaching very active people in gyms, I'll go to nursing homes and I'll maybe teach in assisted livings. And what I realized is chair fitness does not have to be for old people who can't move. Chair fitness is a great entry point for people who might have some mobility issues or weight issues and physically can't stand to exercise. And so I've trained in a few different chair formats. And you can dance in a chair, you can strengthen in a chair, you can practice balance using chair as a prop. So there's so many different ways to use the chair in a fitness, in an exercise program. And I have grown to love it, really love it. And there isn't anything that you cannot do, you just modify it, but it can also be super challenging. This is not your grandmother's workout, but the chair gives you support, stability, and being able to do it online, camera on, camera off, takes away that the fear of embarrassment, judgment. Am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be the worst one? Because that's what I used to do. I used to go and take a fitness class and I'd be like, am I the worst one here? I'm not the worst, but I'm not the best. I'm just going to hide in the back. Here, you do what you need. And if something doesn't work for you, I say, go get a drink, go get your second cup of coffee and watch and see what the workout is. And maybe you'll join in next time. So always options.
What I love about watching you, whether you're doing a dance fitness or a chair fitness, is the energy that you bring in. And I believe that for those of us who are just starting, you help people to cross that threshold, right? You're energetic, you're excited, right? And that comes across on the camera. And I think that's such an important piece for you to understand that people really feed off of your energy. And for those of us, people who are watching, who are going, I got to check this out, you can already feel Gail's energy. And isn't that something that's making you feel good just listening? I know it is me. And I'm still sitting here lifting my knees. I'm stretching my
You,
hips.
yeah, there's
Like,
stretching in a
oh,
chair. I prefer using the chair I always stretch at the end of my standing fitness classes, my dance fitness classes. But I started sitting at the end because I love the stability and having the security of the chair to stretch more to, I don't know, something fell behind me. So yeah, and I do get excited. I love talking to you about this because yeah, I'm just super passionate. I really believe it. Yeah, the time where I wasn't able to exercise at all after my surgery was really hard. And yeah, so it works. And I say that realizing people who are watching might be like, yeah, you say it, but I can't do it. And all I can say is I love to think that I can motivate people, but you have to have a little bit of internal, that leap of faith, pun intended. Take a chance. In my family growing up, as a mom, we would say, what's the worst that could happen? My daughter struggled with a lot of mental health issues. And so we would say, what's the worst if you do this? What is the worst that could happen? Right? You could fall down, that person might not like you or whatever it is. But now I flip that. Actually saw a hat in a store. So it was a hat that helped me reframe that. And I shared this with my daughter. It said, what's the best that could happen? And
I
it
love
really
that.
is the same question, but what is
But
the
listen,
best that could happen? What is the worst that could happen? You know what? You could zoom in, or you can go to the gym, or you could take a walk and you could get super tired. You might get a little sweaty. You might hate the walk. It might be boring. You might wake up with sore, aching knees. But what's the best that could happen, right? you might have more energy. You might have fun. And actually, I have never had anyone take my class and not say they had fun. So I like that reframe. And she loved it so much. I took a picture of the hat. She said, "Oh my gosh, mom, I have to have that hat." So I tracked it down and I literally just sent it to her before I left. I'm on vacation right now. But the beauty of that, I'm on vacation. And guess what? I'm teaching my class on Sunday. On Zoom, the workout goes with you. So it's a take it with you kind of situation.
I love it. I love it. I think we've changed the question in all of our minds. This is something new. One of the many tidbits, but I think this is the number one tidbit is what's the best that can happen. So thank you for that. We probably need to wrap up. So I want you to tell us a little bit about your classes. You have a free chair class available. Tell us a little bit more about that and how people can find you.
Thank you so much. If you're on Facebook right now, you can just search Gail Lazarus. Maybe you could type how to spell my last name. If you want to follow me and just get a sense from scrolling what my workouts look like, I try to post little tidbits there. I'm also on Instagram, and I do have a free gift for all of you, and you are welcome to share this free gift because it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's a 30-minute chair workout. You will just click the link. Denise is going to give you some information, and I will email anyone who wants it a free 30-minute beginner-friendly chair workout. It is upbeat, joyful. You can do one song, you can do two, you can do the whole thing, you can skip around. There's nothing you need to do beforehand. You just need a sturdy chair. Right now, I'm on a chair with wheels, no wheels, and you listen to your body. Just nice, simple movements, extending your arms up overhead, rolling your shoulders back. We stretch our neck, our whole body, head to toe, along with some great hip openers and core strength. And it really is. I hope, actually, you'll tell me. So anybody out there who clicks on it and does it, you will have my information. And I would love to know if, in fact, it was fun for you to do and give you a little workout. So I won't tell you it's fun. I'll look forward to you telling me what you think.
I think that that's perfect. I think everyone who does it will absolutely comment that it's fun, and I really
Accessible.
encourage. Yes, and
I
it's
like
accessible. That's and for those of doesn't matter where you are, what age you are, this is something that we can all do, that we can all enjoy and bring joy back into life and truly make this part of our menopause and beyond wellness. Gail, thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate all of your energy and the information that you shared. And I'm so excited. And my hips are feeling really good because I've been stretching here. I'm like, oh, that's something I should do on a regular basis. See, I learn something new every time. Thank you again. Thank you for listening. I'm going to share this across the board. The link to Gail's fitness class, the little 30-minute chair fitness workout will be in the notes. So make sure you get that. And if you have any questions, you can find Gail on Facebook. You can find her at gaillazarus.com. And I encourage all of you to start.
no gaillazarus.com, but I have launched a new website, which maybe you could put in the chat. I used to be Dance with Gail, but since I'm now incorporating a lot of functional fitness into my workouts and chair workouts, Gail is literally just went live last week. MoveWithGail.com. You can check that out, learn a little bit more about me, my workouts, and there's also free stuff there as well.
Yeah. Very good. All right. I got it. I got all that in Facebook, in the chat there. So I think we're good to go.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me, Denise. I've learned already so much from you. So always learning, always growing. Thank you.
I love it. Thanks so much. And listeners, we will see you next time on the next episode of Healthy Living, Happy Midlife. Till then, I leave you with this: healthy living, happy life. When you live healthy, you will be happy. They go together. I'll see you soon.